Hi guys, welcome back to Minimalism with Michelle. Today I will do my very first book review video on a book that I just finished. It's called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport, and its title really caught my attention: Choosing a Focused Life in a Noisy World. So the book is rated 4.1 over 5, so it's relatively high and it's really easy to read. But it took me very long because I really went and exercised each of the suggestions mentioned in the book before going on to the next chapter. And that's exactly why I find it really useful. Today I will share with you what I've learned from it and what are the steps we need to take in order to become a minimalist of our digital life. The book's title, Digital Minimalism, is very self-explanatory. It's a philosophy of technology use where we focus our online time on a very few selected activities that support what we believe in our life, and we happily miss out everything else. So this actually connects with the concept that we hear a lot these days: FOMO, fear of missing out. More often than not, we download an app because we fear of missing out the benefits these apps are designed to. But indeed, researchers conducted in this book actually shows the opposite result. The long-run benefits that these apps are bringing about couldn't compensate for the harm that it actually generates, because if we overuse it, the harm is more than the benefits. Just think about Facebook, right? A very popular social media platform, especially in Asia. We download it with an aim that we want to be connected with our long lost friends or people that we meet along our lives. And in this exactly what is Facebook's mission, right? To connect people around the world. And it's really grand. It's a very good mission. But at the end of the day, Facebook has thousands of engineers behind them, really smart one, and their job is to keep us connected and stay, stuck in the apps for as long as we could, because it's their business model, right? They don't charge users for membership, so they have to earn income from somewhere else, and our attention to the apps is actually generating that revenue source for them. I believe many of us have seen cases of our friends where we come and have lunch face to face, but then the time that each of the person spend on the devices are actually more than the time they actually make a conversations with each other. And the more that you use these apps, the more disconnected it brings about for you and your immediate family members, like your kids, your spouse, or your friends who are physically just next to you. So that's the dilemma that we will address, and let's get on to the next step. So now let me share with you a few findings the author has concluded after his extensive research to write this book. So findings number 1. We all download apps and set up accounts for a very good reason, to only discover with irony that these services were actually reducing the values that make them attractive from the first place. Finding number 2. It is proven that there is negative impact from unrestricted online activity on our psychological well-being or mental health. Findings number 3. Our cultural relationship with technologies is complicated by the fact that it mixes harm with benefits. People nowadays are tired of feeling like they are becoming slaves to their own devices. And the very last finding is actually a good reminder to all of us, whereby the key to thriving in this high-tech world is actually to spend much less time on technologies. People nowadays are tired of feeling like they are becoming slaves to their own devices. And the very last finding is actually a good reminder to all of us, whereby the key to thriving in this high-tech world is actually to spend much less time on technologies. Like I shared earlier, companies, tech giants like Facebook or Netflix, these are attention economies. We as human beings, we only have limited time staying awake in a day, and a part of that time will be staying online. So every one of these tech giants is trying to grab as much attention from ours as possible, because that is how they are making money. So if we are innocently think that just by turning off notifications or just switching off the phone for a day will help us to stay away from these excessive use, then we are really naive. But rather we need to have a strategy and a philosophy in how we should use these technologies. So how do we solve this problem of excessive use of technologies in our daily lives? The very first and foremost step is that we should have a digital detox or a digital declutter process. So this process includes 3 steps. Step number 1, you will take a 30-day break from optional technologies. In this case, social media like Facebook, Instagram, things that you can live without. You can remove them for 30 days. During this 30 days period, you should find activities and behaviors that are very fulfilling and meaningful to yourselves. So for me, during this break, I run more, I read more, and I find it meaningful. So, and the very last step after the 30th day, you can reintroduce back optional technologies into your phone. However, at this time, starting from a blank slate, each and every apps you want to reintroduce, you need to ask yourself, what value does it bring to you? And how will you use it to maximize the values? So for me, after the 30 days period, I still add back Facebook, right? Because it does have benefits around it. But my restriction is that in a day, I will set a time limit of only 1 hour that I can go on social media, checking on my friends or read news. And if time limits kicks in, I will just stop. So it's really up to you. Here, I will let you take a sneak on my phone screen. This is what I have in my phone right now. I group them into main categories of importance to my life, such as transport, banking, entertainment, shopping, and social life. And all of it fits in just one screen. So secondly, whatever apps are left behind in your phones now are having very good use for yourself. And you should start tracking the way that you use it. If you have iPhone, it's actually a function under settings, and then you go to screen time. From here, you will actually see your daily average time used on the screen, and also specific time on a day, and also the specific time on each of the apps. So I find this really useful because every now and then I will go on there and see whether I have almost maxed out my time or I'm still having a little bit more buffer for it. So as you can look at here, my average time is 2 hours and 49 minutes per day, and for today specifically it's 2 hours 30 minutes. So thirdly, you have to make a predetermined list of what activities you will do when you have free time. Because now the time you're saving up by cutting back usage of technologies is available. So what should we do with it, right? And every one of us should have this list in advance, because you don't want to be thinking about what should I do if I don't use my phone. You shouldn't have that wandering moments at all, right? So for me, if I get used to the behavior of not picking up a phone just because of a habit and actually not having a specific use for it, then I will immediately think of 3 things. Either I can read a book, either I can go for a run, or I can spend time with my kids. Of course, it depends on the situation. I can't go for a run if it's raining outside, let's say. So make that list ready, and you just go straight into that list when you have time. So that's all I have to share about this book. More than ever, we are living in a turmoil world full of distraction, and it's really hard for us to stay a focused life. My only reminder to all of you is for us to have a thorough understanding of why we can be spending so much time on phones or technologies. And from there, we should have a strategy on how to overcome these obstacles. So all the best to our journey to become digital minimalists. Thank you.